Growing Up with Gaming by Nerdarchy. Welcome, guys. For Nerds by Nerds. Dave here.
I'm Ted.
Ryan.
My, as they've just introduced themselves, my esteemed colleagues. And
we don't wait. We just jump guns here.
Yeah, I know.
That's right. You don't let the NPC talk. You just put the arrow through his neck.
That's what you got to do sometimes.
And then you got to rewind to the GM gets in his monologue, and then you put an arrow through his neck.
So growing up gaming, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do I mean? Okay, so we're fucking old now. there's no way around it.
I don't know about you. I'm a spring chicken.
So look at all those. Look at the whites and the grays. But anyway, we all started gaming at an early age. Now we're going. For me, I'm 30. I just turned 39, and you guys are starting to get up there as well.
I'm 36.
So
you're gonna always be more up there than I am. So
I guess so. So the way I see it, I've got 20-ish, 24, 25, 22. I don't even know anymore years of gaming under my belt. Oh, wait a minute, it's a lot more than that. I missed a decade. It's more like 30 some years.
How old when you started gaming?
Well, that's a point of contention. Because
who's contending this, by the way?
I am
yourself.
My inner dialogue is contending this, right? So I've talked about it before, but one of my earliest gaming experiences was with Gammaworld, and I modeled the character off of the Hawkman from Flash Gordon the movie.
Right.
Well, that got me thinking, because I always say I was 11 when I started gaming, but then I went back and said, well, when did Flash Gordon come out? Flash Gordon came out in 1980. So that was quite some time ago. I would have been 5 when that movie came out. I might have seen it when I was like 7 because it was on Homebox, possibly 8. So I actually believe I was much younger than 11 when I first was exposed to gaming.
So you could have been gaming for 31 years.
Yeah, well, not steadily, but first exposed to it, we'll say.
Okay.
Because there was Gammaworld, and then the kid next door came over with the basic D&D red box set, and several years later is when I actually started gaming on a regular basis.
Okay. Now, when you say gaming, are we talking strictly tabletop, or anything having to do with the like video games and that kind of stuff?
I'm talking. Come on, man. This is Nerdarchy. We're talking about game and tabletop.
Okay. Well, that's
what we talk about here, pretty much.
Just want to make sure, because I got into the video games, pretty early. So for me, I would say I've been tabletopping for about 22 years. I got into it about 14. Through the Scouts. That's where a lot of a lot of my friends picked it up.
So corrupting youths of America.
I wouldn't call it corrupting. I mean,
there's the whole Satan worshipping thing that you gamers do, right? That's still a thing.
The goat's blood.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No. So I mean, I got exposed. People said, "Okay, let's try this game here." Oh, what is it? What do you do? And it was fun. And you guys had said that you didn't like talking about that you were gamers. You didn't like having conversations outside of the gaming group. But for me, I played Magic the Gathering and talked about the last week's session right there at the lunch table in high school.
Yeah, I want to say we didn't do that.
Yeah. So I got my start through this guy here. So second edition. You helped me make my first couple of characters because, there was things like Thatko and all the charts everywhere sprinkled out throughout the second edition books that, you really need somebody who knows what they're doing.
Old school gaming was all about charts.
Charts and tables. Yeah.
Old school gamers love charts. They love tables. Yeah. And your game sucks if you don't have at least 50 gazillion of each.
Actually, the 6th edition of Dungeons and Dragons really should just be every page is a chart or table.
Every single page.
Through. Yeah, that would really...
Every action you roll on a chart to see what happens.
Yeah.
We're going real retro.
Scatter dice and, everything. But anyway, so I got my start around 11, And, you know, when you're 11, you're really attracted to, like, playing the monstrous PC characters, you know, like, I remember definitely...
Damn, I'm still 11!
Yeah, no, dude, I totally had, like, I played a Flynn rogue.
I vaguely remember the Flynn, yeah.
Yeah, he was, like, an assassin. I played a Minotaur Barbarian. I think I had a Minotaur Ranger. You know, I just wanted to play monsters, basically. Ridiculously hulking, strong monsters. So
I like playing the monsters.
Monsters are fun. But yeah, so definitely I did not talk about that at school, at my lunch table. Like, I had some friends that I talked about the fact that I gamed with and stuff. But I would, like, speak code for the fact that I was playing D&D over the weekend.
You were also a card flopper, right?
A little bit, yeah. I played some Magic. I was not as heavily invested as Ted was, yeah. But Magic was definitely, I would say, a bit more, like, socially accepted, too. Like, there's different strata of nerd culture. But, like, Magic, like, I would say most like, kids around middle school age, like, most guys, you know, probably say, like, in the 70 percentile of guys have probably played Magic, or, you know, like, at least played a hand.
I don't know if I've ever played Magic.
Yeah, but I mean, you're older too. Like,
yeah,
you know, hit its heyday, like, past the age of when you would have gotten into it. You know, like,
you know, I was aware of it, but I was like, Magic the Gathering, that's for fucking nerds. As I go off the,
I'm gonna roll some dice.
Go off, hide in the closet, roll some funny shaped dice.
Yeah.
You know, so which is kind of funny because, like, you know, when I was growing up, you know, in the 80s, late 80s, early 90s, you know, and, you know, the I guess the cultural niches were different as well. And, you know, and I don't even, do they have metalheads anymore? Do those guys still exist?
It's different. It's different.
Or they have 50 gazillion different ones?
Yeah.
Or something.
You know, and here's the other thing, you know, that you know, you guys haven't touched on yet. You know, when it comes to, you know, growing up, you know, gaming, if you will, what we went through is nowhere near what the, you know, people of today are going through, because, you know, you want to look for a game, or you just go online.
Yeah.
We didn't have that.
No.
Yeah, you had to stalk them like big games.
Well, you had to, like, that guy's wearing a Transformers t-shirt, or like a Conan t-shirt or something. You had to, like, look for social cues that they're part of your tribe.
I wasn't even that savvy. You know, for me, it's, I had my friends that I knew were gamers. We talked gaming, and if somebody that just happened to come upon us and be like, "Hey, you're a such and such," you know, I would have no way of knowing. And, you know, I don't even know how I found out, or you found out that I gamed, or I found out that you gamed. You know,
I think the tie-dye shirts with dragons on them for you would have probably been a dead giveaway. Yeah,
because I was used to finding those social cues and hunting them down.
Yeah. Dude, that was like in college. The Transformers thing specifically, I called that out, was like, you know, I have like my Starscream t-shirt that I wear. And I was like, you know, I made friends with this dude. And, you know, we're in a computer lab one day, and you saw my
I just envisioned this, like, this conversation of verbal jousting. Where you guys are kind of, like, dropping little subtle... And, yeah, it's almost like being druggies, right?
Yeah,
and you're trying to
where I could score some D20.
Right, without actually asking, because, you know, you can't actually let them know.
Well, no, like, so he saw my Starscream t-shirt, and he's like, yeah, are you into, like, you know, like, D&D and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, once he blatantly asked, I was like, yeah.
I don't know. Who wants to know?
Who's asking? Dave's not here, man.
Are you a cop?
Yeah.
Are you a jock?
Are you a nerd? I went to art school, man. There weren't any jocks.
Right.
They kind of like lose cred by the time you go to art school. So it's actually uncool to be a jock.
Actually, if they are a jock in your school, they were wearing a tutu. So
right, exactly. Yeah, there had to been something to be said to be like a male ballet student, because you're surrounded by attractive women. So not all bad. So,
but it may not be relevant either.
Yeah, it could be a little.
I might be stereotyping.
Yeah, it's a little stereotypical.
Sorry for the male ballet dancers out there
that are watching a video on tabletop role playing.
That
Venn diagram is very slim. That's overlapping with all.
Did you ever see where male ballet dancers put their hands?
Did you say male
belly dancers?
Not male ballet.
I was gonna say I've never seen a male belly dancer. Now that's really weird.
I don't think.
Wait a minute! Whoa!
We're gonna do a little performance.
Well, let's keep that shirt closed, please.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about anyway?
Growing
up gaming. Right. So art school, code, trying to find gamers.
That's right. Yeah.
And then like here we are. Did you ever think we'd be sitting in front of a camera with literally thousands of people coming to our YouTube channel and watching us talk about the thing we spent so much time keeping?
Well, you know, though, we've already like cracked the code. Like they're searching for this, so that means you're in on it, my friends. You're conspiring. Well, no, but really. So what the internet has done is like you said, you go to the internet to find people that do the same things you do.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of helps you find like your group of people, and you find you find that like no, you're not like one of a dozen people in your high school that does it.
It's the herd.
You're one of thousands of people across the country that do have this hobby and this interest. So like I think that gives people some security, and then like. I'm a big fan of the show, but you gotta admit that The Big Bang Theory, like, it's done a lot to like popularize.
I admit nothing. No soup for you.
What? No, nothing.
I admit nothing.
I personally love the show,
yeah.
and I think I've actually watched all of the first 7 seasons,
Yeah.
and the amount of nerd reference that they actually make, and there's multiple episodes where they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, right there. And obviously these aren't real characters and whatnot, but it's clear that that's what they're doing, and it's amusing, and it's not like they're playing Dungeons and Dragons and being made fun of for it. It's something that those characters are actually doing and that they enjoy. I don't know whether it's possible that those guys are able to spread themselves out between all of the video game stuff that they do, the tabletop role playing that they do, all of the comic book stuff, plus their actual careers and stuff. It's a lot that those people.
No, it's not really that big a deal. Did you notice they're all like they don't have kids?
Oh, that's right.
Well, no. Like, I'm not saying that they don't have to be like actively out there promoting the hobby. Like just having a TV show about it, and it's an interest that people have. Mm-hmm. It's a fairly popular show. Like they're really well paid for the fact that it's that popular of a show. Mm-hmm. So that means it has to be showing people something that they're interested in.
Right.
And some people, it may be like, these characters that I like are doing this thing.
Right.
I want to check it out. So it helps spread the hobby in that regard.
It opens the door.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
Well, and then like going back to the whole theme of this video is growing up gaming. Right, we kind of look at where we're at, where Ted has actually kind of stayed the same, where me and you have evolved, in the sense of our perspective of what we do, how we feel about, and how we feel about other people knowing.
You also get to a point where you just, when you're old enough, you get to a point where you just don't
give
care.
a fuck. Yeah. You're like whatever.
Yeah. So
get old and crotchety. Yeah. But no, seriously, because like I find myself talking to people. They're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, I did this Nerdarchy thing. Well, what's that? And then I go and explain that. We talk about like gaming and board games and tabletop and D&D and stuff like that, which I would have never.
Well, it's funny because I've been around some of these discussions that you have with people that are like uninitiated, and like some of them like they're like like they kind of raise an eyebrow, and then some of them are just genuinely curious about it. So like it kind of runs the gamut, the reactions you get. You're like, oh, game.
A little game curious, eh? We got you.
Well, but then you have the people who are like, oh, that's
some dice.
That's cute. Yeah.
But it's kind of weird because I went from I would never talk about this stuff in hiding it to being on a construction site. We do this thing. We throw funny shaped dice. It's a lot of fun. But and for me, not only that is the fact that I'm kind of more open about what I do and what I enjoy. I mean, because let's face it, there was a time where I would rather have my coworkers think I spent the weekend snorting blow off a hooker's ass than gaming. And back then, that's when we gamed all the time, every weekend without fail.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous now that I think about it.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot of fun. We loved doing it. But there was no way I wanted anyone to know what I was actually doing.
Yeah. Like, in that sort of regard, like, back when I was in middle school and high school, I would have never like told girls I was dating, hanging out with, or whatever that I was playing D&D when I wasn't hanging out.
Right, like they think you're cheating on them.
Yeah, right. That's cool. I guess I can live with that.
I'm going to hang out with the guys. Can I? No, you absolutely can't.
No, and under no circumstances. I mean, like I did long-term girlfriends. They like knew what I was up to or whatever.
Events. Or like our buddy Mark has been on some of the videos where the funniest thing is his wife now. he's like, for a while he didn't tell her about D&D, and he finally it comes out that he plays D&D, and she's like, well, I kind of know. He's like, what do you mean you kind of know? Yeah. She's like, well, you had the poster on your door. It's a D&D right there. Oh. So a lot of times we're not even as slick as we think we are.
Yeah, well, I was pretty not leaving paraphernalia out, like wearing a tie-dyed shirt with a dragon on it, and having a poster with Gandalf with the sword, and "You shall not pass" type of thing. That's a dead giveaway right there. So you have to be a little more subtle about it.
You walk in his room. He walks in his room. He's about to bring a girl in, and he looks around, and he's like, D&D books, dice, crack pipe.
Let me hide the D&D books.
Burn up spoon. Oh my god, I gotta hide the dice in the books.
yeah, exactly. But nowadays, dating and stuff, I just, it comes up to things I do. I just talk about it, and that's that. And also, if they happen to know my full name, they Google me and they find this.
Yeah.
So there's no sweeping this under a rug or whatever.
When I started dating, I let them know. It's like, look, I game every weekend. It's pretty much Saturday nights. I can give you, Fridays and Sundays, but Saturdays is done. Because that's what we're doing.
I already have a one true love.
That's right. And look at the size of those dice.
I wouldn't call it like that, but I mean, some girls wouldn't go for that. Others did, and
they're the ones that stuck around, and the others did not. Well, and which is funny enough too, because now I'm raising my own kids, and I've been married for quite a while now, and my son is about to turn 14, and he's got a couple games under his belt. He's played Pathfinder, at least once now.
Mm-hmm.
He's played 4th edition at least once. He's played a handful of games of Mutants and Masterminds. I'm talking about starting to do a family game where I'm going to get my wife, my daughter, and my son playing a game. So my openness is kind of changed, and it's helping spread it within my own house more so, and perpetuating the hobby. And even tonight we had something that we've never had at our table.
A baby.
2 things really: a real gamer girl, and a baby.
That came from the gamer girl.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I know everybody's table is different. Everybody has a different group. And we don't really have an opinion on this one way or the other, but at our table, whenever we've had a female show up, it's always been a girlfriend, for the most part. Well, except for Anna. Was it Anna?
Yeah.
She was a sister.
She tagged along as a sister, and she was mildly interested, but she hadn't really played before.
Right.
And apparently didn't, keep her interest enough to keep coming back or whatever.
Or maybe she just didn't like us as people. That's a possibility.
That's always a possibility, too.
Yeah.
There was some tension between some people, shall we say.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking
about. But between him and her, between the sister and Stefan. But, for whatever reason, Stefan stopped coming to our game, which I think he moved to Connecticut and was going to school there.
Right.
But he still came a couple times after that, which is weird in itself. Because I think our games are pretty good, but
it's
not driving
not 3 hours travel for.
Yeah. And he was already commuting an hour each way. But again, the sister started coming along, which was cool. I think we're playing a superheroes game at that point. And then they kind of faded out. But other than that, Mark's fiance at the time had come and played a game.
Once, probably just make sure that he really wasn't cheating her at a show.
Yeah, she showed up.
And she's like, oh, that's
what we were doing for all those hours. Yep, this guy is not getting laid anywhere else.
This is clearly not happening.
This is a safe haven.
We had another girlfriend or two that
they just wanted to hang out. They just wanted to hang out with the boyfriend, right. And this is what the boyfriend was doing, which is fine. That's cool because those people can become gamers.
It could spark a genuine interest. Yeah, exactly.
But tonight with Ivy, she'd already gamed before. She is a gamer, so It was kind of cool. And then we've gotten to hang out with Carrie, although we haven't gotten her to the table yet.
Yeah,
it's on the agenda.
It's a mission that it will eventually happen. It's just going to take some time.
So. so we've had this whole evolution, and now we got kids showing up, babies, at the table.
We do have babies.
Well, and that's what happens. Like, we're all older now. We're all married, so the people we tend to hang out with tend to be that as well.
Well, most of us are married.
Well, yeah.
Well,
it happens,
Are you saying that Ryan will eventually get married?
it's a fool's gambit. I mean,
It's
I'm not totally ruling it out.
And kids can happen by accident.
That's true. That's true.
You never know.
Like somebody punctures a hole in your condom, and then all of a sudden you got a kid. Like,
yeah, by accident.
A crit fail, and then, damn it, Dave, you gave me these box of condoms. What the hell?
Yeah, they're a little old. What can I say?
Yeah.
But so this whole thing with growing up as gamers, it's really has evolved for me anyway over the past 30+ years. And then you guys are experiencing. Ted, you're a few years behind me,
right?
So your kids are a bit behind mine. Yeah. But I can only imagine what's going to happen when Teddy gets old. A little bit older.
I'm gonna go from the option. David took a little bit to actually give it a try, and I know when he was younger, I had brought it up, and he laughed and whatnot, and said, no, that's not for me. And here we are, and he's enjoying it. So yeah, I can only hope that Teddy walks the same path.
Well, even with Teddy, 6 now, 7, 6. He plays Quarriors with us.
Yes, he does.
I can't think of any other games off the top of my head that he's played with us, but he's wrote up some Quarriors.
He's done Quarriors. He's done Zombie Dice.
Oh yeah,
he likes the dice games. Go figure.
Yeah. He's not very good at them though.
Doesn't he cheat?
Well, he's pretty good at Quarriors. So he has pretty good luck on that game. He just needs to develop strategy.
So that's been my evolution for gaming. That's kind of been your evolution, and I don't know. Yours is still evolving. I want to say.
Well, what? I don't have kids to indoctrinate. So
you have to go indoctrinate other people's kids.
Do I go abduct children? I don't know. That's kind of weird.
I don't know. Or maybe door to door.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to do your part somehow.
Yeah. Maybe we'll just do nerdy T-shirts to help spread the word at some point.
Oh, we could do that too. There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Who knew?
So yeah, exactly.
So growing up gaming, Nerdarchy.
That's right.
With that, why don't you tell us your stories? Tell us what it was like for you. Did you have to deal with being ostracized? Or was it totally cool where you're from?
What was it? Was it hard for you to find fellow gamers?
Yeah, that's true too. Like maybe you're currently interested in the hobby and you're having trouble finding people. Like that.
Oh yeah, you want to break into the hobby.
That could definitely be a problem for people. I can imagine.
We can help point you in the right direction with that too. And honestly too, I was going to go into a wrap, but I just thought of something else that's worth mentioning. And it's actually another part of the evolution for me is, we all started around the same time play-by-post, which is a way for you to game through the internet. They used to do it in paper and pen, too, in the mail. Could you imagine?
Oh, yeah.
Right? And honestly, we did it, and, it kind of sucked. We didn't really like it. And nothing against the people who were playing with the game.
The games tend to fizzle out. Or maybe other groups are more successful at it.
I think, part of the problem is the pace.
Yeah.
It would go, and then it would be a long pause, a long pause. And then, or, you're waiting for someone to come back, and it's just, it's weird.
We like the immediacy of the tabletop situation. Or even, you did a Google game.
If you're gonna do a play-by-post, I would say, all right, let's make a plan to between this time and this time, just be there and game, and move on. This way, yes, it's still a play-by-post, but you at least have the instant boom, 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 boom.
And so people understand too. That's more of through a Facebook messaging. Or any kind of messenger online,
like a Facebook group. You could have a group that would totally do the trick.
Yeah, so there's several different ways you could do that. Now, like Ryan had mentioned, which you could do through Skype as well. But I did a Google Hangout. There's a Facebook group.
RPG Brigade.
Well, that's actually where I found it, but it's the One Shot game group.
Okay.
And that might not even be accurate. I'll put it in the description so you can find both of those places because they're great communities to hang out. And find online games where you can go to a Google Plus Hangout, or maybe you got a game you want to run. In the One Shot, you can go in there, and go, hey guys, such and such date, I'm doing game X. Who's in? And then you just take players until it's filled up.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
It is kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, we never had those options before.
It's true. Yeah.
And now they're here.
So now you can get, you know, as much gaming as you want without even having to, you know, leave your house.
Which, you know, can be a bad thing too. Sometimes you need social interaction. Just saying.
Oh, and I agree. I'd rather sit. You know, there's something going on tonight. They were doing a live hangout to talk about gaming, right? Not necessarily gaming itself. And I would have probably went and hung out, but I'm like, sorry guys, I'm going to actually do real gaming, you know, in the flesh, which is my preference as well, because we've been doing it so long. We've been hooking up with new people and dragging them into our game.
You know, I like change-ups in group. Actually, that's another little. We were fading out, and then we were outroing, and then we're back into it.
Yeah, we're outroing again.
I do like sort of changing group dynamics, playing with other people.
Oh,
you know, like another 2-3 people at the table totally changes the dynamic of how people interact with one another.
Well, I mean, if you know, you guys watch our you know, our 5e, you know, session 1 and session 2 videos. You know, the first session we only had the 3 players. You know, session 2 we got 6.
You know what's funny about that? So the 3 players versus the 6. Even though our table had double the amount of players, you would think that like maybe interactions between players would be a lot briefer, but there was actually felt like there was a lot more role playing happening because there was more people here. I don't know, to observe it. Maybe like it just felt like the characters were interacting.
There was more options. So that's
well, maybe
that's
I guess maybe that's it too. Yeah. More people to bounce off of. But yeah, I guess you need people to springboard you a little bit.
Well, and with that, you know, like if you say one sentence to each person, you know, compared to, you know, where it's got to be back and forth between two, it does change it up.
Right.
You know, you round robin with one little piece of role playing with each person, and then go back to the beginning again. It really just starts to add up. But you know, again, you know, it's a social game. You know, one of the reasons we do it is to hang out and you know, gather with our peers.
You know, for a long time, you know, we met every single week, and it was a situation where, you know, even if, you know, we got together for 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, you know, if we only gamed for 4 to 6, you know, we had that other time where we were shooting the shit, talking, catching up, and you know, yeah, even though it's only been a week, you know, it's still, you know, you're spending time with friends and having fun, and you know, that's that real key that, you know, helps, you know, develop a person.
Well, here's another dynamic that's kind of come about because of Nerdarchy. Like, we caused this to happen in our group. And I don't think it was the intent. It was unintentional side effect that's actually very beneficial to the gaming per se. Like, you know, we get together for a Nerdarchy game. At a certain point, we turn on the camera and we're going to game. Well, as soon as that happens, as long as that camera's running for pretty much, you know, we're all about gaming and there's nothing else going on but the gaming. You know,
and we used to break character and, you know, break story, you know, frequently. Yeah.
So now
there's less side talk.
Yeah, to do that now, it's like you got to stop the recording, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, because
so you know,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not gonna sit there and make you edit it out or something. Yeah.
Well, and here's another part of that too. So right, with that going on, when we bring new people into our table, and that's their impression, their experience, it kind of trains them to game that way. But, and you know, the other side of that, which is also kind of fun, is when we do take breaks, because we take breaks for dinner, you know, to order food, or just because, you know, people need to go use the can or whatever, you know, we pause the recording, and then like that social part that totally is divested of the game, unless we're actually just talking about gaming, is there. So I feel like not only does it make the gaming better, but it actually makes the social aspect better.
It's almost like more higher efficiency because it's compressed.
You're blocking your time.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like scheduled. Yeah, it's kind of weird and interesting how that works out. But yeah, also, like, I mean, part of the dynamic with doing recorded games is you have to play with people that are comfortable with being in a game that is recorded. Like, because that's, you know, if somebody absolutely did not want to appear in any video format whatsoever, then they couldn't play in our recorded game. So
you know, that being said, though, because we actually have one of those players that we wanted to shoot, like we're Nerdarchy and we'd like to shoot videos with people, right? We like to talk about gaming and nerdy shit or whatever, and of course then we record it for you guys. Well, we had someone and there was no way in hell they were going to do that, and we're like, you guys want to game with us? And they're like, yeah, and we're talking, we're going back and forth, and they're really gung ho. But I'm like, we record it, that's, But I'm like, look, once we start gaming, you don't even think about the camera, you don't see it. It becomes kind of a non-issue. And like they're like, all right, but I'll wear a mask. But they showed up, they gamed, no masks were involved, and I don't think the camera made anyone uncomfortable. I think you really just forget about it.
Yeah, no lucha libradors were harmed in the making of that session.
Yeah, so it worked out. Yeah. So here's another instance of someone growing with gaming. They totally changed how they're gaming. Yeah, I think it was out of desperation because they just recently moved to the area and they have no one else to game with, and they're probably like jonesing. It does.
You do get withdrawal. Oh man, yeah.
Yeah, the shakes and everything. You start hallucinating.
Twitch.
Yeah. So this is how, and frankly, this is how Nerdarchy has affected my gaming. This is how Nerdarchy has affected your gaming, right? And now we're seeing it affect other people's gaming at our table. We've got people sitting in with us on videos, like Mark, who never even thought to do something like this, or thought they might be interested in it, until they did it with us a couple times now, and they're like, I would do that with you guys. It's fun. I like doing that.
Yeah.
And again, he's another closet gamer.
Yeah. Well, or not so much anymore.
Yeah. Well, I used to be ex-closet gamer.
Yeah.
Shh! Don't tell anybody.
Right. Nobody sees these.
Nobody.
Yeah. All right. So, do you think we should really wrap up now? Are we good?
I think so. I think we beat this horse to death.
There we go. We drug it around.
So, comment, subscribe.
Hang out with us. Yeah, just nerdarchy.com.
Facebook, Twitter,
basically,
all that good stuff.
Yeah, if you Google Nerdarchy, you're going to hit upon a few things.
You're going to find us.
Yeah, I guess with that. Until next time, my friends,
stay nerdy.